Welcome in, everyone, to the Challenge After Show. We are the after show for the challenge. I'm pretty sure we are the one and only, ladies. This is episode 13, The Spy Who Loved Fessy. Kind of give it away in the title a little bit, or just everyone wants to be with Fessy, so maybe they didn't give it away. I don't know. Ladies, how are you? Pam, what's up?
I will start. It totally gave it away because the final competition was called Spy Ring or something. So it didn't
give it away.
Then it was The Spy. They were both
Ring
spies.
of Spies.
Ring of Spies.
Ring of Spies. So then I knew that it gave away that whoever won was going to pick Fessy to me, basically. But at least it didn't give away who won.
But let's be honest, Pam, throughout the show, like, we kind of knew whoever was going in, whether it be Nany or Gabby, and those were like the only candidates they even discussed. One of them was going to pick Fessy no matter what. That's what I thought.
I wasn't so certain that Nany would, just given it's not like she has a terrible partner and that Anissa's her great friend. But we could get to all that.
Well, if you remember, Pam, though, earlier, like a couple episodes ago, Nany did say that she wanted to go after Fessy as well.
Oh,
very
really?
briefly. It was very brief. Jenna, what's up?
Dan's keeping the receipts. Well, I wonder if it's too early to pose this question then. Why everybody is going for Fessy over more experienced people? Like, you have CT, you have Darrell, you have Leroy up there. I would take any single one of those over Fessy any day. Like, Fessy has brawn, sure, he has endurance, but he made it to the final last year, yes, but I don't think he performed that well, but maybe he is coming back with vengeance. But I was just sitting there thinking, why is it only Fessy? Like, no one else is even considering the rest of the guys up there. Like, why would you not even think about Darrell? Or CT,
or an answer, because Fessy's campaigning to have people take him. He's actively saying, "Come, please pick me if you win."
That I think that's definitely part of it, Pam. I also want to throw a conspiracy out because I love a good conspiracy. That's the only drama that there is if she picks Fessy. No one else is going to be that upset if they take their partner. I mean, CT just got with Cam, and they're already like not really vibing. Leroy, like at the beginning, if you remember, Leroy like wasn't even sure if he trusted Casey because she was in the Big Brother
but
alliance.
At this point,
he's happy with her, but is he gonna? I don't think there's. I mean, I do think Casey's a better competitor than Nany. But would Leroy be that upset if he got Nany? He likes Nany. They're friends. I don't know. I just think that something with the producers or something we're not seeing where they can just easily be like, yo, get the Fessy name out there. He doesn't want to be with Anissa. There's our drama. But, because it wouldn't matter if Nany picked Fessy. She doesn't have to be with Anissa, but she picked Fessy for whatever reason that was. So
it could be that. I think that Nany was doing a favor to Leroy because they're really good friends by not picking Leroy, only because I think Leroy and Casey work wonderfully together. And I think that they do love each other. They have the same exact temperament. Like, their chemistry is on fire as partners. Not even just tonight, in the past too. I think that they're a great partnership, like heavyweights to win the final. But if I was Nany, I would pick Leroy because I think Nany works best when she has somebody who's supporting her. She doesn't need the strongest. She doesn't need the smartest. Sadly, she doesn't need what you would look for in a competitor. She just needs somebody who's going to be supportive and push her to her best ability. That's why Josh was so good for her. And that's why Kyle really hasn't been. So if I was Nany, I'd be like, well, Leroy is probably the best person to be my backbone in this. I'd probably go for him. So I think it was a favor to her friend that she didn't take Leroy because he's already just in such a good fit with Casey.
Do you think it has anything to do with like the Big Brother people? She doesn't want to piss off Big Brother people by taking one of their, because Fessy's the only one that's really not in that Big Brother alliance, even though he is Big Brother. Does he ever really even?
Well, he's huge in that alliance.
Is he though?
In that alliance.
I understand
huge
he's
in that alliance.
I just like him. Anissa's obviously not in Big Brother alliance, I guess is my point. So I guess she is, but she isn't. Like, what is Anissa's? I don't even know what alliance is Anissa in, really. Let's be honest. I don't see it as much, which is why I figured.
Man, I love Anissa so damn much. This is really a long shot and she knows it too, but I'm like, Anissa, I just want you to win this whole thing and laugh to the bank.
Yeah. Look. Well, on that, Jenna, I do think she is really being shortchanged by like Kyle. Like, I do not want Anissa. Everyone, like, yes, there's endurance involved. Yes, but again, that is only one aspect, unless it's a full-on crazy marathon-y thing, like that crazy one during I don't remember, where Cara and Theo were in the desert doing math. Like that was the only challenge. They were like running for, but that usually it involves eating, swimming, puzzles. Like you have to do everything. And Anissa's good at most of them. You know, she's not good at running very, very long distances. But I don't know. I think it's really presumptuous of all these guys to think Aneesa can't do well in a final. I don't think that's necessarily true. Also, I think it's real jerky because we don't know how it's going to be. They're still assuming it's going to be partners or this or that. And like, I don't know if it's going to, like, for CT to be like, sorry, you're not ready for a challenge to Big T. It's like, I'll decide if I'm ready for a final. And you don't know what the final is, and you don't know if your partner's with me anyway. So don't knock me out, because I just think they're going to be one change.
Don't you have to assume, Pam, that it will be a partnered final just because that's how the show's worked all season? I think there might be an element where they all do work alone, but I think it's going to come back to partners and your partner, and maybe they'll have an opportunity to switch partners in the final. Who knows? But I think that whatever partner you're with at the end is going to be a big part of that final with you. And I do not blame them for not wanting to be with Aneesa, because there's no way in hell there's not a lot of running. But I'll leave it at that, because I always get on Aneesa for not having endurance, but it's going to be a shit ton of running. I'm sorry. That's what it is.
Yeah, no, honestly,
you never know.
I love Aneesa, but I really think she's not going to be good in a final. I think that's pretty safe to say. Pam, I love that you think differently, and I hope you're right, but I really just think
I'm not saying she would crush a final. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. What I'm saying, however, is last season with Aneesa, I think she also got ixnayed because people didn't want to be partnered with her, and then it wound up not being partnered. Right. At all. They were like, sorry, Aneesa, no one wants to run a final with teams or whatever it was. And it wound up not being that. So it's like, you don't need to make the decision. I guess you want to make the best choice for you. All right. Also, though, now I'm interrupting myself, but Fessy being like, Aneesa just wants to ride my tails to a final. It's like, you are unproven, my friend. It's like we don't know what you can do in a final. You only have your gold skull because you took out someone in a sport you played professionally who was much smaller than you by playing dirty. So you're not that great, Fessy. You're big and strong, but I mean, I get it to some extent, but If Fessy makes it to a final, this is going to be a big final for him to prove himself and really be like, yeah, look, I am the next whoever. Because you're right, Pam, we don't really know how his endurance is yet. Has he really run that much in front of us yet? I don't know. But he's super strong. I don't really know. I'm not sure how his puzzle game is. I don't really know. So we're about to find out. And next week, it looks like there's a big swimming daily challenge. So we'll find out if he's a really good deep water swimmer, because they're going underwater for this next one next week. So it should be fun.
Right, exactly. That's why I think it's crazy that everybody only had their eyes on Fessy. Like, he was the number one choice, the hottest commodity, when you have very experienced guys who have run finals up there, guys who know how to do puzzles, guys who know how to be creative. You know, they have the endurance, they can do math and everything. And that's decided on Fessy.
I just wonder why they didn't pick Darrell. I think Darrell would have been a great choice too for Nany. They go way back. I think Darrell wouldn't push her in a bad way. I think he'd be a good motivator for her. I think
he wants to win. Choice. I think he'd be a better I think he's better than Fessy. I've done that too. And also, who cares about Amber B? Like, it's not like you're pissing off anyone you're friends with, she's friends with, or anything. I think Fessy, you get the partner you deserve. And I think like he deserves to be with, suffice it not to,
I see what you're saying.
Not to insult Nany, but I don't think she's worlds above Aneesa either.
Right, and we can get into Pam. Excellent point. I want to get into that, but I want to wait for the elimination to talk about Nany's performance and stuff too. That's a really good point. I'm gonna try not to forget to add on to that. Okay. Let's get into the daily challenge. It's called Survive the Night, and they have to do a bunch of random ass tasks, which, I mean, they are out all night, but it wasn't really that. No, I hear you. Come on, Dan. Come on. I hear you, girls. Though there you are. There you are.
There it is.
Push through.
This was you.
Was that me?
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Survive the night. Yeah, well, you don't want to
survive the night.
Hold a heavy bomb. They got to eat stuff. They got to solve a math equation. Find a hidden key. Scratch a board. Dig, and then have nail files to get out of the jail. What did you ladies think of the survive the night challenge.
Why didn't Cam want to win? Like, why wasn't Cam working hard?
Damn, bigger question. Why did like everyone give up except 2 teams? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And TT apparently tried, but everyone else was like, nah, we're good. Because they have their alliances, I think is what they had. Like they know if a big brother team wins, they're all safe. I don't know.
Right. There were only a few people without gold skull, so at that point they were playing to get them in.
Yeah, it would just been better if it was on earlier in the season because people would have actually tried to win the whole thing. It came down to 2 teams that even tried to make it to the end.
Yeah.
It was super disappointing. And I wonder if it was just because where this challenge fell in the episode rank or in the scheme of things, or if it was the activities of this challenge. Like, do you think it was because it was a food challenge and they had to eat? That's why people were more enticed to give up? Because they're like, oh, if I don't really need to participate and now I have all these gross ram's testicles in front of me, I'm not really going to jump out of my chair to eat these. I'll probably just hang back. But I don't know, because you could have really handed them anything. And if it was at this point in the game where they're tight in their alliances, they don't want to lock in, being the power couple. They obviously don't want to go in to get a gold skull because they already have one. Doesn't even matter what they were doing. They were just kind of going to half-ass it anyway.
Well, there's no girl or boy skulls left now, correct? After tonight, there's none left. Extras, right? The girls are out,
right?
too.
You have to steal it at this point, I think.
Yeah. So I just wonder how much longer they're going to carry on the stealing. Are they going to give Corey an opportunity? Are they going to give Big T an opportunity? Because I think those are the only people without skulls at this point. So you're looking at there's only 12 people left, really. So.
Yeah. What's weird, too, is the team that was working the hardest. Well, the 2 teams. One, both skullless. Gabby and Corey needed to win. They had something to play for. So they had an incentive. If you're not Gabby and Corey and you're a guy participating in this challenge tonight, you don't really need to work hard. You don't. You kind of just have to fake it. You could throw it, pull a Fessy, although his acting skills were terrible. It was very obvious that he was not trying to participate. But it's interesting that Leroy and Casey went so hard. I don't know if it was just their like inherent competitiveness, or if they felt like, oh shit, we love Nany, we really want to work for Nany. But then that's disappointing because Nany didn't even work for herself. Like, I get that the food is gross and I get you feel secure with your alliance, but like, girl, you're in control of your fate in this game. Like,
I agree with.
I'm really trying to wait on my analysis of Nany, but you girls keep bringing her up and I want to break it down so bad, but I'm going to wait.
We'll wait, but not to over focus on Nany, but he's like, Nany, you could have gone in all season. Like you at least work for it, and I kind of agree. So yeah, I do think though, Jenna, yes, Leroy and Casey did want to put Nany in.
But they had to do it for her. Like, they literally had to work for her, as well as Cam. Cam was the mathematician for everybody. She's like, babe,
I was so impressed. Like, I can't do math. I mean, I like the fact that it's like, oh, that like in your head, someone's doing that is just literally magic to me.
It's very impressive. Like, if I write it down real quick, or even like they were writing it in the leftover food, I could do it in 2 seconds. But to do like 760 times 4 in your head.
Even if I was writing it, it would not take me 2 seconds. I'd have to do like this times that, like the way you elementary.
Writing it down is easy, but to do that in your head, to do it in your head under pressure, I think it's very hard. But writing it down, no problem. But
Cam is awesome.
Yeah,
she did it so quick.
And
to know it too. Like, she had the confidence that she knew how to do math. I could never be like, okay, everyone, give me your equation. I got you.
It's nuts.
Okay.
Also,
question.
Okay.
Who did you guys think had the worst puke of the night?
Oh, I couldn't. Corey's.
I say Corey. Corey had the worst because Corey was trying to swallow it and then it still came out.
Yeah, it was incredible.
That was the best one.
Projectile. And then he was laughing after. I feel like he went manic after he threw up. He was like, ah.
Oh, I like CT. CT will be, this is his curse now. Shouldn't have gotten rid of Big T. Yes, Big T was a great partner. You won things with her. I don't know. I know he's deemed it again, but Big T was like, I can't disappoint CT. Like, she worked her hardest at all of that. And that's kind of irreplaceable. So he said
she might have been working harder as well because she needed a gold skull, just in theory, like for 2 reasons,
Yeah, for sure.
She would have eaten more food than Cam did. She would have tried harder than Cam did with the food.
He absolutely would have. That's what I'm
She
saying.
would have had to try harder. She can't do a final without the skull. So
yeah, I think it really came down to the food. Because to your point earlier, Pam, like what was Cam getting out of not going her hardest? I think it came to the food, and people were like, fuck it, if I don't have to do it, I'm not going to. Even Nany, who had to do it. And listen, I get it. She saw that food and she's like, I'm just not doing it. I'm gonna get my skull. I don't need to worry about it. But it is a gamble to be that confident that you're gonna go in and not do what you have to do.
You girls don't disagree with what Fessy did, though, by knowing that if he won the challenge, he would have to stay with Anissa. Like, I don't blame him for what he did, especially since he doesn't want her to be the
Fessy made sense. He said, I'm throwing it because I want to be up for grabs. I don't want to be.
Right, and it all played out perfectly the way he wanted it. So
yeah, at this point, the girls for him would have, I don't blame him. I just think he's super arrogant. I mean, like, do what you got to do for your game. I get it, but I think he's very arrogant for a second season person who's never been to a challenge, right? A final. He's never been in a final.
But I almost
neither is Nany, right? Like, has Nany ever been in a final? So the two of them have no.
I thought that. Why do I think that Fessy made it to a final?
Well, he did his first season. Yeah, he made it. I think he finished in third.
I think he made.
He only.
Oh, okay.
He only did decently. He wasn't a standout, but
I remember. I totally remember being like, Fessy didn't perform as well as I thought he would. Yeah, that's why I'm like not as like psyched on Fessy this time. It's like, you weren't any sort of standout. I think Corey was better than him. Bananas won. That was the season. So Bananas won. But there was some jump touch thing that Fessy did with Bananas, and Bananas won. And it was like a made for Fessy type thing.
Well, like I said, so he's had some experience, and now this is the one where if he makes it, he really needs to go above and beyond in this one to prove that it wasn't a fluke in the first, where he placed third, did okay, show that you've grown as a challenge competitor, and then we'll see how you do.
Yeah, and on his arrogance, I do kind of think that as well, but not even in defense of him, but I think it's not even entirely his fault that he is arrogant. I think everybody in the house talks about him on such a pedestal that they're really feeding that, like they're enabling that thought because nobody ever wants to compete against him. He's so big, he's so strong. All the girls want him as his partner. So he kind of like, it's the house creating that monster too.
I think it's just his growing up too. I think he's always been the biggest and the best. And I think he played football somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So he's always been macho, man. There's so many dudes like that, but I do feel like he's one of them where it's like, he's always been told how great he is. He has the best hair, best
right. He's Gaston.
And it felt like if they weren't in the challenge or the elimination this episode, it was just Corey and Fessy in the weight room doing the boys' locker room.
Right.
Well, let's get to that then, ladies. We mentioned Fessy. Him and Gabby have a little thing, and then the next morning, him and Corey talk about it, and Corey brings up, oh, but aren't you into Tori? Like, one thing I wish that they had now is true fans of the show already know that Jordan and Tori are kind of done. So everything in that conversation was like, well, she's got a man, but like we all know she doesn't have a man anymore. So I just wish there was a way that they could update it for us, like maybe put a little talking head in there and say, look, at the time it was this, but now it's this. So what do y'all think of this? Do you think, Fessy and Tori are going to get together now that she's not with Jordan? But we don't have that. It sucks.
Right.
So that whole scene was kind of shit to me because we already know the
Really?
Well, there's
so you want like it to be like a extra or
updated
news sort of thing, like somebody cuts in and they say, hey everyone, we have breaking news update.
Why not?
No, they can't do that. It's the same. It's the drag of social media with reality TV because so much, it's so part, like I watched The Bachelor too, and it's so much a part of the culture that you can't help but knowing there's no way to not have it spoiled. It's like in the news that I watch, like, oh, Chris Harrison did because this happened and this,
And it sucks they can't just start releasing episodes before it's over as well, because then at least the majority of the season wouldn't be spoiled.
Start releasing. Come back, Dan, come back. We have to believe, Jenna. We have to believe. Oh, he came back.
Yeah, I came back.
Like he's leaving.
I'm saying, why can't they start airing the episodes? I want them to air the episodes while they're still filming them, but I think there's so much that goes into the editing process, and the producers want to manufacture things, so they can't do that. I know, but they can't do that because they
want Dan, you really
story. I mean, they have to make it a show.
I know.
You're asking a lot of them. You paying their pay rate?
I did get an article from MTVT. Thank you very much for sending it. About the Fessy, Gabby, Tori subject. So real quick, while we're on it, I will mention all three of them during the taping of the show were in relationships, significant other relationships.
Even
two. Wow. Yeah, Fessy had just like moved in with his girlfriend that he met on Big Brother.
I thought they were broken up. Are you sure?
Certain, yes.
At the time of the
taping, yes. Because, well, I'm certain as a... No, they were together.
So I don't think he would be that outwardly pursuing other women when he was with this girl. When the whole social media...
we're going to have to... Somebody fact check that for me. Yeah, in the comments.
In the comments.
But as far as I read a whole thing about her being so hurt and confused when it came out that he was flirting with Tori. Like when him saying like, yeah, I'm attracted to her earlier, she was like heartbroken and like stopped following Tori. No, I think this is news to her. I mean, at this point they're super broken up, but I don't think that she was expecting this. I do think he went into filming. Maybe they broke up while filming after I have no idea, but I am pretty certain that they were together then. And Gabby has a serious boyfriend, but apparently that isn't open, like that she went back and it was great. Like nothing, he knew she hooked up with someone else and that was fine. So I don't know.
That's so interesting. That's so cool. I know a lot of people who, well, I don't actually know them personally, but I know that that's a thing that people do.
It's almost like
couldn't be me, but it's very interesting.
Well, she doesn't live in America. It's almost like, what are you really going to date him forever? Like, I sort of get it. If it's like, what, don't tell, don't ask, don't tell. Like, I don't know. Well, who knows? I don't know how.
Well, it's interesting. She gave that line to him on the way out too, where she's like, "I'll see you after the show." So that was weird.
Yeah.
Like, well, if you're with this other guy, why even say that? But I guess for the cameras, say it for the cameras, everyone.
Yeah, I don't know.
While we're on Gabby, I just get this feeling from her where I just love her. Like I really want to be her friend. Like I feel like she's just really cool and fun, but also loyal and doesn't like when people cross her. I don't know. I really like her. I'm getting good vibes from her.
Here's a hot take for you ladies. Even though I've been like dissing on the rookies all season and I've been saying that they're all awful, it's better for them to lose for my predictions to be right, that none of them really added anything to the challenge. I was rooting for Gabby in that elimination over Nany. And I know you won't, Jenna. I know you weren't, but I was. Oh, you were?
Wait, you're kind of, I didn't know what to do. You're not wrong, but right. I was sitting there thinking, why am I rooting for Gabby when I always want Nany to win? Because I love Nany. Nany's a vet. She's been in this so many times and she can't get her win. But I couldn't help being like, I kind of want Gabby to come away with this because I think that would be sick. And I think that Gabby, she looked like she was a little bit more composed and Nany looked a little bit frazzled. She obviously was crying before the elimination started. And I was like, all right, Gabby, like, let's go. You got this. Yeah, it was a tough one for me. I was conflicted. Pam, who were you rooting for?
100% agree with you. I am a Nany fan. I love her. I think I'll call it an edit because I don't know what was really going on. This episode's edit made it seem like she was like, my friends will put me in. It made her seem a little entitled, which I think tainted our feelings about it. Without all that, I would definitely have been, I think, rooting for her, but I think Gabby's performed pretty well all season and tried, and I would have been happy either way, basically, at that point.
And I think
Gabby won.
I felt like even though Gabby was a little bit shorter than Nany, so Nany may have had an advantage to jumping and getting the ring, I still thought Gabby has a little bit more meat on her bones. I thought she was going to have more of a fight, but we know that Nany is a fighter. She is scrappy. And if there is something she can do, like I think it was Leroy or Corey that said it, she is going to fight with you for it. But it was back and forth. When they cut to commercial break, it was 1-1 at that point. I came back truly thinking there was going to continue to be a dogfight and that Gabby was probably going to win. What did you guys think? So I was shocked.
Well, after the commercial and right before that commercial, when they showed them jumping, you could see Nany was quite ahead of her. So I was like, damn, Nany's going to get the ring first, and then it's going to be whatever. But I also think Nany is a little bit longer and a little bit quicker, so she was able to get to the rings, quicker, and then therefore had the advantage overall. Unfortunately, because I was rooting for Gabby.
Yeah, I was not thinking it was going to be an all-out like just below past her. Nany getting the ring and just running right to the totem. What would you call it?
Pole.
Pole. Yeah.
Pole. The pole. Right.
So I was super impressed with Gabby's first go. She literally dragged Nany and a ring. So I was like, she's much stronger than her. She's gonna win. I mean, she must have something turned off or something, because if she gave that fight.
Pam, that just goes to show you how disappointing it is that she didn't go against Amber M. She would have absolutely wiped her out. So it's very disappointing that Gabby didn't take the opportunity earlier in the season. She'd be in the final right now already.
Live and learn, Gabby.
Yeah, I don't think, and I don't know this for sure, I have to fact check. I get the feeling that Gabby hasn't participated in a lot of athletic competitions. Like I don't know, I got the sense where I felt like her strides were kind of weird. Like I felt like she was like jogging in place to the ring. Like she was not sprinting, she was not striding out. She dragged Nany. She was strong and she fought for it, so she was good at first. But then the second one that Nany scored on, she kind of just let go of her grip, I felt like, and then she kind of just lost her juice. Like she was really in it for the first one, and then she couldn't bounce back after that second one. And I felt like I don't know, jumping and running wise, she didn't seem like she maybe knew how to control her body, or she didn't really have a strategy going into it.
I mean, the first one she did, she got it.
Well, that was so close though. That was anyone's on that first one. That one was an all dry. And then Nany kind of took over after that and kind of, at least on the last one, really just took it to her.
Yeah.
Couldn't kick it. I mean, Gabby needed to stop her from running. If she stopped her in her tracks and really just bulldogged her down to the ground, maybe something could happen there, but it didn't.
Yeah.
I think that this was handpicked for Nany. It was a little more of a headbanger. They knew Gabby didn't want to do headbangers because of the last time when she had an opportunity against a very small girl and she still said no to it. They wanted Nany to advance, is my point. The producers wanted Nany to advance. She has a bigger storyline. She has a lot more history with the challenge. This is a rookie girl that needs to prove herself, but we don't care if she comes back or not. They handpicked this for Nany.
I think very much could have been anybody.
No. I want Gabby to come back, but I don't think the producers care if she comes back. She's not a Nany that's been on the show for 10 seasons now with 0 wins. This was handpicked for Nany to finally get a win.
I don't think that. I disagree with Dan's conspiracy.
Okay.
I don't think this was. I think this fully could have been anybody's game. I mean, it was something.
We haven't seen this all season though, have we?
No, which is a good point because. Yeah, because they did. They're like, you've seen everything now at this point. They were having a conversation like, you're not Cam and Nany, where it was like, look, you've seen every elimination.
I was trying. Maybe was there a guy version of this ring thing? Am I messing this up? Was there a guy?
There was something with CT and Kyle. Remember where he was like?
It was Fessy and the guy from America's Got Talent that even Big T messed up his name.
Oh, Joseph.
Joseph.
But what did Joseph do? What was the game?
It was similar to that, wasn't it?
That was
the one we wanted Fessy to go down, but Kyle
ended
up going down. That was a fight for the ring, and you had to put the ring over the pole, but there was no jumping. There was no running and jumping
on the ground. It was just a ring on the ground.
Yeah, ring on the ground, and then he had to put it on the pole, right? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Who cares? Bye, JoJo. See you later, Joe. Okay. Anyways, will Joseph be back, ladies? No, he will not be back. Joseph's not coming back from AGT.
I didn't mind him though. I mean, I don't know what he was doing there in the first place.
Dude, did you see? Don't you remember his ab workout? How ridiculous was his ab workout?
Well, did you try it? Try it and report back to me. Let me know.
I have a 6-pack now. Thank you, Joseph.
Everyone, didn't he eat mustard before? Didn't he eat mustard to like get souped up,
get the energy to perform and against
Kyle? Remember?
That's funny.
Yeah, he had mustard.
People.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So we kind of skipped the middle of the episode as far as the club into deliberation. Oh no.
Come back to us, Dan.
No, Jenna, I wasn't. Jenna was frozen. I thought.
No, you're back. You're back.
We skipped a little bit of the episode.
Uh-oh.
We skipped the club and we skipped deliberation. Do you ladies want to talk about the club scene? It was basically Nany saying she wants to go in, but we already kind of talked about that. And then deliberation
That was it, right? I'm like,
yeah.
I know deliberation was like the easiest thing ever because it was just them deciding, oh yeah, we want it to be Nany versus Gabby. So I don't know.
yeah. It was very awkward when Darrell asked, well, are you guys going to switch partners? And you can tell that obviously they both intend to, because neither of them are like, never! I love my partner!
Who was it that asked, I think, Nany asked Anissa, hey, Anissa, are you going to be upset if Fessy leaves you? Like, that is a producer going in her ear. Come on, please give me that conspiracy. My God. It's so obvious.
I think that we can make a case for any situation on the challenge and say, that's the producers doing it, because honestly, it's very likely that that's happening more often than not, but we don't want to think that way.
No.
Of course not. What did you think of Fessy and Corey talk? And Fessy's like, I don't want to be with Anissa. That happened. And then they immediately show Anissa saying the exact same thing. Like, Fessy doesn't want to be with me. And I was like, okay, well, it's the only story. Thank God this episode was only an hour. The producers must have heard me last week. They were like, that Dan guy, we're going to edit this thing down to an hour for Dan. Clearly.
He's onto something here. At least there wasn't a ton of filler.
But how many repeats was it of, hey, Anissa's no good and we don't want to be with her? Like, every person said it multiple times. Like, they needed so much filler on this episode just to get 1 hour out of it. It was crazy.
Yeah. That's what I think was a little crappy and disrespectful to her. Like, I get it. We get it. But it's like, she's not horrible. She does well. I don't know.
Yeah. I get Anissa's emotion, I think, is coming from, they're about to be in the final, right? Is there maybe one more episode into the final? We might even jump right into it because now it's all equal. So she's thinking, damn, I had Fessy this entire time. Or at one point she had to steal him back.
Yeah.
But she was able to keep him around until right before she gets to the final. But again, wait, who does she have now? She has Kyle. Kyle's good though. Kyle's a good partner.
I don't think Kyle's a bad option. It's just he's not maybe as physically strong, but he always ekes it out. He always does well. And I wish Kyle wasn't so rude to Anissa. It's like, it's not going to help you to not embrace your partner. You can try and get rid of her, but you might as well give it your best. Like, well, he's like, hey, Anissa. Like, it's just rude. I just feel like it's really disrespectful and rude. We get it. You don't want to be partners with her. Well, you are now. So
I feel like
exactly. What else? Sorry.
For what you were saying, Jenna, earlier about, is this going to be our last episode or when's the final happening? I think we're going to get one more episode next week where it's going to be Corey and Big T, who are now partners. They're going to end up going in, and it's going to be a double elimination against two people that have to defend their skulls, and then bam, we're in a final. I think that's all.
I would love it.
And that way, everyone's going to get an opportunity, like we saw last season, to get the precious skull that they need.
Wow. Who do you think will be in the double eliminate? No idea. Just depends.
Well, who do you think? I mean, I don't know. It could be anyone.
I have no idea. Like, I'm trying to think if I was Corey and Big T, who I would want to go against.
Probably going to pick
Amber
Kyle.
B. Well, she might want Amber B, but he won't want Darrell.
I think it'd be Kyle and Anissa.
But Anissa's so much bigger than Big T.
Yeah, than Big T. But if it was...
Does it matter, though? I mean, what if it was tonight's game? Big T would probably get to the ring faster. I don't know.
Ball brawl.
Yeah, but then Anissa would tear it away from her, like, in 1 second.
It's not like Big T is... You think so? I don't know, because you also have to have endurance to be able to rip the circle from somebody's arm. I mean, if Big T just holds on, then Anissa can kind of gas out.
I don't know. That's
like
good. That would be a good. I'd like to see.
Unless I feel like she can go against Nany. LOL, and Nany just got her skull.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, honestly. So, but now Nany's with Fessy, so Corey wouldn't want to do that. But it's not like they go against the same people. That's what we'll have to see. It's exciting though.
In this case, they could, though. They could just pick one team to go against Corey and Big T and just say, hey, guess what, guys and girls tonight. Boom, you're done. You're doing it.
They haven't done that though yet, have they?
Not yet, but every week is something new. don't know.
Even when they did the double elimination, wasn't it whatever guys or girls? No, yes. I don't know. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess my last thing on Anissa is, if she's so tired of people giving her a hard time, she says, what is this, her 20th season? Like, honestly, 18th? Like, it's got to be up there. Why doesn't she just come back, like, in better shape?
I knew you were going to say, why doesn't she just, like, work out?
Why not? A little bit more. Just try a little harder so you don't get people not wanting to be your partner on the show.
I do agree. You do have to train for these shows, especially now, because now that is what the challenge requires. But right. I used to love when people were just regular ass people plucked out of their daily lives, their regular jobs. They went to challenges in jeans. Well, I swear they used to wear like jeans and flip-flops. TJ used to wear jeans and flip-flops. They'd stroll up to a challenge. Nobody really worked out.
Some of the girls
used to be like 90 pounds, and I still feel like they were slinging each other around. Like, these weren't CrossFitters, you know? And then somehow everything changed, and now everybody is an Olympic athlete. You could even be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I think especially for I think the dudes were always kind of ripped up. They were just like kind of bigger dudes. But I think the girls used to be like really petite and small, or they didn't really non-athletic. But I think the girl game has gotten raised up a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that, maybe Anissa needs to do the same. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yes and no. I think the girl game, I don't know. The girls back then went hard. Like, they were tough. Katie, Jen, Robin, all of them, Veronica, Coral, like, they were tough. They just weren't like CrossFitters, which sometimes or is even tougher, if you're just kind of like an athlete, or you just got the fight. Sometimes that's all you need.
Anissa, I'm not just saying this because Anissa wins dailies. She wins eliminations. Like, she's not useless. I understand she can't run 2,000 miles. But
who can?
But Shkara, like, I don't know. Ashley, I guess. I don't know.
Cara lives.
Cara forever. Yeah. Cara lives.
I'm glad you brought her up this week and not me, Pam. So that's
yeah. But we gotta have our weekly shout out to Cara. But like, she's not, that's what I'm saying. Same with Big T. It's like, these people aren't, it's not like, oh God, like, no, Fessy, you and Anissa have won several things. Anissa's won elimination. She beat Tori. Like, I'm sorry, she's not this garbage competitor.
No, and I'm not saying that, Pam. What I am saying is that I always say that when it's an off season for the challenge, I think you should work on what you're not as good at. Like I was saying about Big T earlier this season, I think Big T should come back maybe a little stronger. Well, I think Anissa should come back with a little more endurance.
Anissa's like getting a master's or something. Like, not everyone has time to live their life.
Run at night? What are you doing here? I'm just saying, you can't just show us that you're trying in the off season to become a better challenger. Give us reason to want to root for you, besides the fact that you've been on here for 200 years. That's all I'm saying.
Anissa. Show us you care. Show us you're trying.
I don't need Anissa to show me she cares about.
You know what? I'm going to stir the pot, and then we'll get a lot of comments now about people hating on me. It's going to be beautiful, ladies. It's going to be beautiful.
I think a lot of people will agree with you.
I really want to see Anissa in a final. I want to see what she can do. I don't think we've ever seen it, because everyone's always like, she can't do it.
And I got a good feeling you're going to see her this year, because she already has a gold skull, and the only person left that doesn't is Big T. I think she's going to beat Big T in elimination. So there you go.
Yeah,
we will see.
You never know. I really do hope so, though. But at the same token, unfortunately, I'd love to see Big T in an elimination too, because I always have seared into my brain the elimination, not final, but the elimination that was Big T versus a big strong woman. I don't remember who, like someone like Laurel, and it was like lifting up boulders and running with them, and Big T lost by a hair. Do you guys remember that?
I don't remember that. That was Big T?
It was Big T. And it was like, damn, okay. Like, there was a big strong woman.
I'd have to look it up, and
Wow. Yeah, definitely.
And Big T was like right behind, like it was anybody's game. It was neck and neck.
Nice.
The big, strong athlete person like won by a smidge. So it's like, I don't know, Big T's got a lot of fight in her.
Yeah.
She puts her mind to it, and that counts for almost as much when you're in these things. That counts for a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, so I mean, I guess there's a possibility that Big T won't even get the chance to get a gold skull. I think everybody in this game is being pretty generous. So if you're around and you still don't have a skull, everyone's just gonna put you down in the crater so that you have a chance to get yours.
It was against Georgia.
Georgia. Who's Georgia? I don't remember.
I love Georgia.
Our Georgia? Okay, that was it. So it was against Georgia, who was like, again, and I like Georgia, but we would think would crush it. Like, she's a runner, she's strong, she's lit, and Big T, almost beat her. So that's where I was like, okay, you know what? Big T's not as bad as she almost beat Georgia, who's strong and a runner.
Yeah.
So
they're kind of similar sizes, though. I think the difference is that Big T doesn't bloat her athleticism, right? Like, she didn't even tell anybody that she was on the swim team. Right. She's got good size too. She's definitely strong. She definitely has a fit body. She probably runs a lot. I feel like she does have endurance.
She plays her strengths down, not just that she doesn't flout it. I think she would rather fly under the radar and be seen as zero threat and a layup. And it's like, well, I'm not, but I don't need to say that. Like, oh no, don't put me in. And then she wins.
So, and I think she has a little bit of nerves too, that she's not going to live up to an expectation, because it's always sucks to talk a talk and not be able to walk it. Like, she says, I was on swim team, I'm going to kick ass at this. And then she's like a terrible swimmer that day. Right. It's nice to get ahead of it and be like, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just hoping that I perform well. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, that's because I'm a G at this.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you don't want to have a Devin where you're like, I'm the puzzle master. And then you get schooled on a puzzle. Yeah, no, exactly. No, I think Big T plays a smart game. The disadvantage is that people consider her weak, but I don't necessarily think that's a disadvantage, except for the fact of where she is now, where,
it's looking like CT and Cam are not going to be gelling very well.
Not from the preview we just got, and from tonight as well. She says she can't even understand what he says, so should be very interesting.
Although they both do want to win the final, obviously, and they are both really good. So if they can get it together for the final, I think they have a really good chance of, the best chance, actually, if they.
I am wondering though that during that final, if they're gonna be given an opportunity to switch partners or something like that, like during the final, to really mix it up. But they got to do it, because it would just.
They're going to. It'll be like the best time in this first heat was that. That's what I think. Like, okay, so CT got that done in the fastest time. CT, do you want to stay with your partner? I do think they will be able to mix it up throughout if they're not working together well.
Do you girls have any final thoughts on the episode, the 1 hour episode we just watched?
I think we got them out. I got all my thoughts out there.
Yeah, they left us cliffhangered. I mean, I'm really eager to see what happens next week and who's going to be actually going into TJ's final.
Yeah, I guess the last thing I'll say is that, a win is a win, so good for Nany, but I'm still not super impressed. I think that it was anyone's game in that one, and she's been on this thing for 10 seasons now, and she's had 0 wins. So she's just so hit or miss with me. She's going to probably make the final at this point, but I don't see big things happening with Nany in the final.
I want to see her in a final too. There's a lot of people that have come very close and that we know their strengths and weaknesses because they've been on many seasons, but that we haven't seen in a final, which I do think is to some extent its own beast. So you have to be really, people don't tend to win finals by like a fluke, the way you could win an elimination by not a fluke, but it could be anybody's. You have an off moment. This puts all your things to the test. So I would like to see how she could do in one.
Yeah. I think what would be fun before the final is if Corey steals Fessy's skull from him. Again, avenge Nelson, even though they dropped something tonight where Fessy said
best friends.
Best friend.
Yeah.
People forget real quick. Corey.
Does Corey think that you're his best friend, Fessy? Like, that's where I'm like,
They had a lot of weight room talk, so they're working out together. But I kind of want Corey to steal Fessy's skull.
Yeah, I would love that.
Do you ladies want a little news and gossip before we go this evening?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah, we do.
Is it about?
It's nothing bad. It's not any it's not any Cara talk.
Not about Cara?
Cara.
They filmed the reunion show. And they did it. They did it like all together. Apparently different groups would go on stage, so they kind of kept the separation, but at least it was in person and not over Zoom or whatever platform they used last season, because that wasn't the same watching that. So
that was terrible.
That wasn't that great. Let's see.
Do you think that there's any drama that's worth rehashing on the reunion? Because sometimes the reunions are so good because they go into like, you did this, why did you do it?
I would like to hear from the participants, because back to, the Fessy, Tori, Gabby. Tori said apparently on her show with Anissa that she had no idea Fessy, that she never flirted back and didn't know until this all happened, that Fessy was interested in her, during that filming time. I think eventually later they might have gotten together, but she's like, I never flirt back. Honestly, this is news to me that he was into me. And so I'm interested in hearing from them how that worked out. And if Gabby knew he had first choice was Tori or not, or however, if it was no drama really, but we just have to go over it. And then the other drama I want hashed out with a moderator is CT and Big T. Other than that, it's pretty undramatic. I'm sure they'll touch on Nany taking Fessy.
Yeah, well, no surprise here. Lola was not invited to the reunion, which is super disappointing because I would have loved, that's the drama that I want to know about. But of course, producers aren't going to allow that because their game is staged and they don't want that coming out, in theory.
Yeah.
Staged. We don't know.
Well, Devin, apparently, I learned this from Us Weekly, is knocking Lolo for saying she was forced out. That it was her choice. He's like, she wasn't forced out. So I don't know what to believe.
I rewatched it, and he also said that they didn't say that you had to land in the drop zone, and that's true. TJ never said you have to land in the drop zone or you're disqualified. But at the same time, then what the hell is the point of a drop zone? Just let them go drop off as close as they can get to that platform without hitting it, because the helicopter apparently turned away from the platform, so they could never actually hurt themselves by landing on it. So what the hell is the point of that drop zone if there's no DQ for not hitting the drop zone? That's why
the rules always
open to interpretation.
The rules always get blurry. Remember that one game that they had to play where you had to go into a soapy house and look for the color combination?
And bananas on the outside. Yeah.
Right. Bananas just stood there. I mean, that wasn't really written in the rules that he couldn't do that. So it could have just been a loophole, just used a different strategy.
It is. It was a loophole cheat. It's
it felt weird to me though, because why would you put a drop zone if you're not supposed to land in the drop zone? Why they're telling competitors they can do whatever the hell they want? It doesn't. That one doesn't make sense to me though.
It's the same as I mean, look, if you can get away with that technicality, great. But it doesn't make any sense to have something called the drop.
So my point is that TJ never said you were disqualified on the show, but it doesn't mean there wasn't a couple extra lines where he said, oh, just so y'all know, if you don't hit the drop zone, you're disqualified. Producers can take that out, no problem, to make their storyline work for CT and Big T too, which maybe Lola's right then with what she said. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right. Same thing with that Josh Cam elimination that I feel like we always bring up, right? That they were using their feet wrong, or they weren't allowed to push, but only they knew it and the opposing team, or only the opposing team was told to stop and they were allowed to continue it. I don't know.
Pam and I, that is the drama of 2017, and Pam and I talked about it for 8 years about this. Back to back. It was back to back.
Don't see eye to eye. But
that's why it's ingrained in my mind.
I also think these people watching the episodes and then speaking their mind about it aren't privy to the Lolo, I believe she's right. She saw that and was they didn't even land in the drop zone. They shouldn't have won. They edited it. And maybe that's not true, but I don't think she's wacky for saying that. But again,
maybe she was like escorted out nicely. Maybe she wasn't pushed out.
I think that made it. I stand by that. They made her think it was her idea, like that it was a gentle.
Ooh, like a gaslighting, yeah.
No, not gaslighting, just sort of delicately. Which again, she said she's great. She wouldn't have made the team, then she wouldn't have qualified for the Olympics, which I think she won. If she hadn't done that, so possibly that was I don't know.
That's her looking on the positive. That's her looking on the positive sides of things, though, too. You know, just trying to be like, look, if I did,
good. I hope she does look on the positive.
Well, yes, that's what
I was going to say. She's the most negative person in the entire world. I don't know if she would come to the positive on her own. That's what I'm saying. I'm not even kidding. That like, hey, you have 2 days to qualify for the Olympics, and this could be your year, Lolo. What do you want to do? You want to stay? You're not even going to get a gold skull, or you want to go? I mean, there are reasons that might have made sense.
That they brought that's up a really good point when you put it like that.
Yeah,
definitely possible.
The only other news I have is that our girl Jenna and our not so boy Zach are having a baby. And
baby boy, I saw that.
Oh boy, I was gonna say I hope to God it's a boy, because I do not want Zach raising a daughter.
Oh, well, they could have a second kid, Pam, and it could be a girl.
Hopefully it will be another boy. Ugh, I don't want him raising a son either. Good God.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know though.
Women come from us, son, okay? God took our rib and made lady, so.
Yeah.
I would like to see them on another challenge sometime soon, but that'll be interesting since they have a kid now and it's a newborn and stuff. I don't know if that's going to happen, but.
I wonder if they'll be retired. It will be interesting to see them back on another challenge, but when you have a baby, you don't leave that baby to do something.
I wonder how many people Zach's going to sleep with during Jenna's pregnancy that aren't her.
What? Wait, what? Say that again?
I'm sure Zach will cheat on his pregnant wife a lot. And I'm wondering how many people he will sleep with.
Like, I feel like, Pam, you're so far on this side of Zach, and I'm kind of somewhere in the middle about like liking him or whatever. But you are so far this way on Zach. It's crazy.
He's a horrid person who treats her absolutely.
Oh, so Jenna, you're with Pam? You're on that? You're that far out?
I am.
Yeah, he's like I mean, I find him kind of funny and amusing at times, but I think he's like a horrible human.
Well, that's why I'm in the middle so much, because I do think that he's funny. Remember that season? He had so many great one-liners about whoever it was, someone small on his team.
Amanda. He was bearable for me to deal with because I hate Amanda so much too.
Yeah.
But or did. Now I think she's definitely a better human than Josh, or not Josh, Freudian slip, than Zach. But Zach, I don't think a leopard changes their spots. I think he's a cheater. I think he doesn't respect women. So why would he respect his wife, who also demands no respect from him? And I wish for the best because they're bringing a life into this world. But yes, still taking bets on how many people he's going to cheat on her with while she's pregnant, because I think there will be several.
Jeez, I really hope that's not the case. I mean, they've been together for so long at this point. You got to think there's some real love there, and that he would stop doing these bad things. I mean, do we have confirmed? We have a few confirmed cases of cheating, but nothing recently, correct?
Did he cheat on her in the past?
See, now Pam doesn't even think he cheated on her.
Yeah, I'm saying maybe during COVID he didn't, because the world's on lockdown, and they, they might have been. He might not have recently in the past year because no one's seen anyone. You can't. Go
if people are listening to us,
COVID.
Do I not cheat on her though? Yeah, he's cheated on. Remember when he started his dating his profile, and I'll never forget the way when he said security.
Oh yeah.
When he tried to call security on her because she wanted to have a conversation. Like he
was like, this is too much. You're God, how do you bring this negativity into my life?
Yes, he has zero accountability. It's like, wait, you did this thing and now I'm trying to talk to you about it, and you're saying how awful I'm treating you. Like that was the cheating. Like she was like, well, we should talk about that. Do you want to talk? And he's like, security.
Well, please tell us in the comment section below if we have any confirmed cases of Zach cheating on Jenna in the past or current.
I mean, I think we know he's cheated on her in the past, right? I'm gonna do a deep dive into this when we're.
Can you?
We'll get the name. People will type into the comment section. We'll be all set, Pam. Just go to the comments. You'll find out.
But I wanna learn too. Like,
well, yeah. There you go. All right. That's all I got for news and gossip. So hip hip hooray. Ladies, any final thoughts before we bounce out of here?
Oh, good. When you asked that like 35 minutes ago also, and I think
this is more of final thoughts of news and gossip though. This is like,
I'm good.
Okay. Yep. Bye everyone. We'll see you guys next week for episode 14 of the challenge. This is the after show for the challenge. This is the only one. Write in the comment section below if there's others, because there's not. There is others, but I'll pretend this is the only one. All right, Jenna's yawning, so she's good. Pam, you're smiling, so you're good.
All right.
See y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.